welcome once again to English Sports Focus, your premier destination for advanced linguistic development through the lens of athletic greatness. I am the pitch voice. After exploring the tactical genius of football's greatest icons, we now shift our focus to a different kind of dominance. Today, we chronicle the odyssey of Serena Williams, a figure who didn't just play tennis, she dismantled its conventions and rebuilt them in her own image. Chapter 1. The Concrete Crucible of Compton. Her story begins not on the manicured lawns of elite country clubs, but in the rugged asphalt courts of Compton, California. Under the visionary, if unorthodox tutelage of her father, Richard Williams, Serena and her sister Venus were forged in an environment that demanded psychological invincibility. This wasn't just about learning a backhand. It was about preparing for a world that would initially be skeptical of their presence. Every morning, amidst the socioeconomic complexities of their neighborhood, a blueprint was being drawn. A blueprint for a career that would eventually redefine the intersection of power, grace, and cultural impact. Chapter 2. Emerging from the Shadow of Venus. While the world first took notice of her older sister Venus, the younger Serena was quietly observing, absorbing, and sharpening her own competitive edge. The transition from a child prodigy to a professional competitor was a calculated, deliberate progression. By the mid-90s, the tennis establishment began to witness a seismic shift. Serena's game was characterized by a raw, unbridled power that was previously unseen in the women's circuit. However, it was her internal resolve that truly set her apart. She was often viewed as the other Williams' sister, but this secondary status only served as a catalyst for her ambition. This period was marked by a rapid ascent through the rankings as she moved from a wild-card entry to a formidable opponent who struck fear into the hearts of the seasoned veterans. The apprenticeship was over. Serena was ready to claim her own spotlight, proving that her trajectory was not merely a companion piece to her sister's success, but a unique phenomenon in its own right. Chapter 3. The 1999 Breakthrough. A Star is Born. The 1999 U.S. Open serves as the definitive point of no return in the Serena Williams narrative. At just 17 years old, she navigated a treacherous draw, defeating the likes of Monica Seles and Lindsay Davenport to reach the final against the world number 1, Martina Hingis. In a display of tactical brilliance and physical supremacy, Serena secured her first Grand Slam title. This victory was more than just a trophy. It was a symbolic disruption of the status quo. She became the first African-American woman in the Open era to win a major singles title, signaling the dawn of a new hegemony. Her victory was celebrated not just for the athleticism displayed, but for the poise she exhibited under the immense pressure of the New York stage. This wasn't a fluke. It was the arrival of a protagonist who would dictate the narrative of women's tennis for the next 2 decades. Chapter 4. The First Serena Slam and Tactical Hegemony. By 2002, Serena had achieved a level of technical and physical mastery that rendered the competition almost obsolete. This period saw the birth of the first Serena Slam, holding all 4 major titles simultaneously. From the red clay of Roland Garros to the hallowed grass of Wimbledon, she was an unstoppable force of nature. Her serve, widely considered the greatest in the history of the women's game, became her primary weapon, a mix of pinpoint accuracy and devastating velocity. Yet, her dominance was not purely physical. She developed a profound ability to read her opponents, anticipating their movements with a predatory instinct. Her rivalry with Venus during this time reached its zenith as the two sisters met in consecutive Grand Slam finals. It was a surreal moment in sports history. Two sisters from Compton occupying the top two spots in the world, with Serena firmly establishing herself as the dominant partner in this unprecedented family dynasty. Chapter 5. Adversity, Injury, and the Pulmonary Threat. The path to greatness is rarely a linear ascent, and Serena's career faced a period of profound uncertainty in the mid-2000s and early 2010s. Struggles with injury and a dip in motivation were compounded by a life-threatening health crisis in 2011. A pulmonary embolism followed by a hematoma left her not only fighting for her career, but for her life. This chapter of her story is perhaps the most instructive for those studying the concept of resilience. To many observers, it seemed the Serena era was reaching an early conclusion. However, her return to the court was not merely a comeback, it was a rebirth. She shed the vulnerabilities of her past and returned with a more refined, economical style of play. This period of adversity hardened her psychological armor, transforming her from a dominant athlete into an enduring icon of perseverance. She proved that her spirit was as indestructible as her legendary first serve. Chapter 6. The Mouratoglou Era, a second peak. In 2012, after a shocking first-round exit at the French Open, Serena sought a new perspective, leading to a transformative partnership with coach Patrick Mouratoglou. This collaboration sparked a remarkable second peak in her career, an era defined by a renewed tactical discipline. Under Mouratoglou's guidance, Serena became more adaptable, improving her movement and defensive capabilities without sacrificing her signature power. The results were staggering. A flurry of Grand Slam titles well into her 30s, a time when most players are contemplating retirement. This period was characterized by her relentless pursuit of Margaret Court's all-time record of 24 Grand Slams. Each victory was a statement of longevity, as she continued to outpower and outthink players who were nearly half her age. She wasn't just maintaining her level, she was actively elevating the standard of professional excellence in a sport that usually favors the youth. Chapter 7. Motherhood and the Quest for 24. In 2017, Serena achieved the extraordinary feat of winning the Australian Open while several weeks pregnant. It was a testament to her superhuman physical conditioning. However, the subsequent birth of her daughter, Olympia, was fraught with medical complications that once again placed her life in jeopardy. Her return to professional tennis as a mother became a narrative of immense cultural significance. She reached 4 more Grand Slam finals after her return, a feat that defied medical and athletic logic. Although the elusive 24th title remained just out of reach, her struggle to balance the demands of elite competition with the responsibilities of motherhood resonated with millions globally. She became a vocal advocate for maternal health, particularly for women of color, using her platform to highlight systemic issues. Her quest was no longer just about a record. It was about proving that a woman's professional identity could coexist with her maternal one at the very highest level. Chapter 8. The Stylistic Icon and Cultural Disruptor. Serena Williams' impact transcended the boundaries of the tennis court, influencing the worlds of fashion, business, and social justice. Throughout her career, she used her attire as a form of self-expression and political statement. From the cat suit that sparked debate about dress codes to her collaborations with high-end designers, she challenged the traditional aesthetic of the sport, asserting her identity and demanding respect for her physique and her heritage. Off the court, her venture capital firm, Serena Ventures, focused on empowering underrepresented founders, reflecting her commitment to systemic change. She became a mogul, a fashion icon, and a symbol of empowerment. Her presence in the sport forced a conversation about race, gender, and body image in ways that few athletes ever have. Serena wasn't just a player, she was a cultural disruptor who paved the way for future generations to embrace their authenticity without compromise. Chapter 9. The Final Dance. Evolution Away from Tennis. In late 2022, Serena Williams announced her evolution away from tennis, choosing to eschew the word retirement in favor of a term that suggested growth rather than finality. Her final tournament at the US Open was a masterclass in spectacle and emotion. Even in her final matches, she displayed the vintage grit that had defined her for decades, defeating the world number 2 in a thrilling encounter that electrified the New York crowd. When she finally walked off the court for the last time, she did so not as a fading star, but as a legend in full control of her destiny. Her departure marked the end of an epoch. She left behind a sport that was faster, more powerful, and more inclusive because of her influence. The evolution signified a transition into a new phase of life, one focused on her family, her business interests, and her philanthropic endeavors. Chapter 10. Legacy. The Blueprint for Modern Greatness. As we conclude this exploration of Serena Williams' monumental career, we are left with a legacy that is as multifaceted as it is enduring. Her final statistics are breathtaking: 23 Grand Slam singles titles, 14 major doubles titles, and 4 Olympic gold medals. But her true legacy lies in the doors she opened and the barriers she demolished. She is the blueprint for the modern athlete, someone who is unapologetically competitive, commercially savvy, and socially conscious. To the students of the English language listening to this, the story of Serena Williams provides a rich vocabulary of resilience, transformation, and excellence. She proved that where you start does not define where you finish, and that with unyielding discipline, one can change the world. Serena Williams, a champion, a mother, a mogul, and forever the queen of the court. That's all for today. We hope this truly deep dive helped you substantially sharpen your listening skills. Remember these key phrases and try to use them in conversation this week. Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating these detailed lessons. See you next time for more English Sports Focus.